Greetings and welcome. This is Judgespektre, and I'm going to talk now about the Hitman series, one of my personal favorites. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to omit the very first game as it was only released on PC and never consoles. The first title that I actually played was Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, released on PS2 and Xbox. Now, you would think that they would make an effort to actually explain the identity of who your main character is, in this case, Agent 47. They don't really go too far in detail, though. I always found that kind of strange, since the majority of people who played Hitman 2 probably never played the original, so if you didn't, and you never looked up anything, you might be a bit lost as to who he was. But anyway, the basic setup of the game is you're playing as 47, a repentant assassin who is now living in a church trying to forget his past, but that all changes when his friend and mentor is kidnapped, forcing him back into the life that he left behind. Now, the gameplay of Hitman is unique in that it allows you to approach the missions in different ways. The basic idea is you're contracted to usually kill one or more people, and at the same time maybe sometimes retrieve an object or something in addition to killing someone. You're free to go about this any way you see fit, whether it's storming the gates and shooting up everybody in sight, or whether it's the more traditional Hitman approach, being stealthy, quiet, and blending into your surroundings and background. To aid in this, you have the ability to actually knock people out or kill them and take their clothes, which helps you blend in and helps you get closer to your target. One thing I always found funny, though, is whenever Hitman does this, the clothes seem to always fit Hitman perfectly, almost as if they were tailor-made to his size. It's kind of weird. Also, why is it that nobody ever notices a bald guy with a barcode on the back of his head, even if he's in disguise? I mean, that seems like kind of a red flag. Couldn't they have given him a wig or something to wear, or a hairpiece to something, you know, to blend in? I don't know, I've never really been able to get over that one. But anyway, it's a good game, but it's also a pretty hard one. The enemy AI is pretty erratic when you're in disguise. Sometimes you'll just be walking past somebody and they'll randomly just start shooting at you. And other times you'll run past them and bump right into them and they'll just walk past you like nothing ever happened. It's really unpredictable. And some of the missions in Japan and some of the later missions as well are really hard and really push the limits of your skills. But the game was really good and featured a very awesome soundtrack. Bottom line, good game. Now, moving on to Hitman Contracts, released a few years later, or maybe a year later, I'm not exactly sure how long it was. The basic setup for this game is 47 is shot while performing a contract assignment and stumbles back into his hotel room and collapses. And you spend the entire game in flashback, more or less, as he lays there slowly succumbing to his wounds. He sort of has flashbacks to his greatest hits, so to speak. It's a very surreal game, very moody. The atmosphere is very dark, and I really like that. It's a good glimpse into the mind of 47. It shows you how much of a train wreck it really is in there. But the actual missions themselves are more open in terms of how you can approach your assignment. Gameplay-wise, not much has changed, though. I mean, it's still pretty much the same stuff. The controls are a bit better. They don't feel as stiff as they did in the first game. You can sneak at a quicker pace this time. And some of the actual levels are actually imported from the first Hitman game on PC, Hitman Codename 47. While it might be cool to play some missions from the game that I never actually had the opportunity to play, they do feel a bit linear and confined when compared to other levels like Beldingford Manor, which just offers so many different ways to do things. But anyway, there's also been one small storyline thing that kind of bugged me. At some point during the flashbacks, a doctor shows up and patches up 47's gunshot wound. He recovers, but immediately after recovering, they snap into another flashback mission. I always thought the point of that was he was flashing back because he was injured and dying. Once he's healed, there really isn't a point to doing another flashback, but they did anyway. I mean, that's just a little storyline thing that's always kind of stuck with me. I'm kind of wondering what the Why would you wait till that point to do that? But that's minor. It was a really good game, but I don't know. I still like the original one better. Well, Hitman 2. But the best Hitman title, in my opinion, was the follow-up, Hitman Blood Money. It was the first Hitman game to be released on the next-gen console, Xbox 360. I don't think it was on PS3 though. But yeah, Xbox 360. Basic setup for this game is that there is another contract killing organization known as the Franchise that's moving in on 47's employer, the agency, and slowly wiping them out and taking their place. We talked to the former head of the FBI and a reporter. Well, we watched them talk to each other, and it's revealed that 47 is supposed to be dead now, and that you're basically, all the missions you're playing now are leading the missions that led up to his death. So once again, most of the entire game takes place in flashback. Suffice to say, not everything is as it seems in the storyline, but that's the basic setup. Now, Hitman Blood Money introduced several new things, including upgrading your weapons with scopes, silencers, extended ammo clips, stuff like that, which is a new thing. But the levels were done much better. They introduced the idea of setting traps and causing accidents for like your victims. A good example of this would be a mission where you're supposed to assassinate two people at an opera house. One is a tenor performing on stage, and the other is a friend of his that is watching from the crowd. During the play, the tenor is scheduled to be shot with a prop gun as part of the play. Well, is it possible to actually sneak backstage and replace the prop gun with a real gun, and then rig the scaffolding above the area where the play is taking place with a bomb? When the tenor is actually shot with the real gun, his friend comes on stage to check out and see what happened. Then you can detonate the bomb and it falls and kills him, and you basically complete your assignment without ever firing a single shot. That's just one example. There are several others in the game. And there's also the notoriety system. Notoriety basically is how well you cover your tracks. At the end of every level, you'll see a newspaper detailing the events of the assassination you just completed. It'll detail exactly how many gunshots were fired, how many people were witnesses to what you did, and basically just how well you covered your tracks, basically. And the more people see you that you don't take care of them, or if you're caught on camera and don't retrieve the security tape, your notoriety increases. And as it increases, you run the chance of people recognizing you on the next mission because they're getting a really good description of what you look like over time. It's not that big of a deal because you can always pay money and bribe police to sort of reduce your notoriety. So it's not huge, but it was a nice little addition. It was always kind of cool reading about my assassinations. I kind of like that. Now, sadly, this would be the last of the Hitman series that we would see for a good long while, actually. I think it was, might have been financial problems, or maybe they just didn't know what to do next. But recently, the 5th Hitman title has been revealed, Hitman Absolution. It's scheduled to be released in 2012. I'm definitely looking forward to this. And once I play the game, I may feel the need to do a project on it in the future, so that's out there. Who knows? But as it stands, Hitman is one of my favorite video game series from the PlayStation 2 era, and the one title that was released on 360, in my opinion, is the best of the lot. And I think that just about wraps up everything I needed to say about Hitman. So, thank you everybody for watching this, and stay tuned. There will be more coming in the future. This is Judgespektre, signing off.